What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Thursday edition of NFL Turf Talk. This is your Week 13 recap and takeaway show. We have a humongous Thursday night football matchup tonight. Detroit versus Dallas, major playoff implications in this game. Basically, it could be an elimination game for one of these two teams, Scotty, whoever comes out on the wrong end of it. So we got a lot to discuss with that game, our updated top 10 power rankings, and whatever else that you guys want to get into throughout the course of this show. So guys, make sure to check us out. We are streaming to you live on the DSM Twitter channel, as well as the DSM Turf Talk YouTube channel. So if you want to be interactive, make sure to follow us at DSM_media. And then check out the link tree in our bio. It will take you directly to the YouTube links that we have for all three channels. If you want to be interactive on this one, check out the Turf Talk YouTube channel. Subscribe. My man D-Rab, what is going on? My man Scotty, how's your Thursday going, brother?
What's good, brother, man? Happy Thursday. Happy to be here. Obviously, we're back for Week 13 takeaways, not Week 13 preview. Let me catch myself up here. No, I got my notes down and everything. I promise you, I'm not stuck in Week 12 or anything. But no, Week 13 was eventful. It was painful for Eagles fans, as you guys know that we are. But overall, throughout the NFL, it was kind of a balancing act. In a sort of weird way, with the way things simply played out. I mean, you had the Eagles fall, obviously, to the Bears. The Bears are now the 1 seed in the NFC right now, because the Rams lost to the Panthers. So you just got a lot going on. The Colts lost to the Texans, which opens that division wide open. Jacksonville's 8-4 right now. Indy's 8-4. I think the Texans are 7-5 now. They've won a couple in a row. So the NFL's starting to heat up, man. You're starting to kind of see who some of the losers are, like the Steelers. They're starting to kind of separate themselves from the mix, but then you have some teams popping up out of nowhere these last couple weeks. So it's a fun season, but I'm excited to see where it can go, my man. But how are you feeling on this fine Thursday, brother?
No, I'm feeling good because obviously you did the Thanksgiving preview show last week, and all three of those games, looking back on it now, really do have major playoff implications when it comes to the outcome for the three of them. I mean, you had the Lions, who again we're going to talk about later on the show, playing tonight, who are on the outside looking in of the NFC playoff picture right now, man, with two teams, I believe, ahead of them at the current moment. You get to the Chiefs, their season. Can we stick a fork in them? We'll talk about that. Dallas, after beating us and come from behind fashion, they take down Mahomes in Kansas City on Thanksgiving afternoon. And then the Bengals and Joe Burrow's return. I mean, the Ravens score 14 points at home against that defense, 32-14. 2 games out. You mentioned Pittsburgh kind of falling apart a bit in that division as well. So a 4-8 Bengals team. Is it crazy to say that they're not completely dead just yet? You mentioned it, the Bears, jumping up to the 1 seed, the AFC South. There's a lot going on because it's just funny, a couple weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were talking about the parity across the league. And now we're getting to that point where everything's tightening up. All these races are becoming a little bit more open and challenging for some of these teams, man. So it's going to be an exciting show for sure.
Yeah, it was interesting, man. Even as we were putting together the power rankings for this week, you get to the bottom of the list. There's a couple 8-win teams. I think there's 2 8-win teams that didn't make the list, maybe something like that. Maybe it's a 7-6 team or something that didn't make the list, but nonetheless, you got some 7-8-win teams in Week 13 that did not make the top 10 power rankings, which I thought was very interesting as well. But yeah, man, let's dive into it. Maybe we could start with the Thanksgiving slate. Start at the top. Like you said, there was a lot of playoff implications and a lot of momentum that was picked up in certain directions on that Thursday, that fine Thanksgiving. So Green Bay and Detroit, man, that one was how did you feel? Because I got to do the pregame show for that one. How did you feel going into that one? Where did you think that game would go?
I mean, I thought Detroit was going to come away with a win against Green Bay in that one. Obviously, the Amon-Ra St. Brown injury kills what Detroit wanted to do. But
Yeah.
that defense, man, obviously more so than anything, we're going to talk about those injuries to the offensive line, to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's out tonight against Dallas. So that crushes them. Sam Laporte has been injured. So don't get it twisted. That offense is dealing with a lot right now. But that defense went up against the Jordan Love-led Packers offense that had really been struggling. And again, I know they're missing pieces on the back end. Bryant Branch, Kirby Joseph, when we played them, they were missing guys. Didn't really take advantage of those missing guys. But regardless, the Packers did 31 points, 14 in the second, 14 in the third. So leading in the halftime and coming out of halftime, they really took over and dominated this game. I was surprised, to be honest. Now, a little less surprised, like I mentioned, after the injury to Amon-Ra St. Brown. That changes everything for the Lions, man. When you're already down Sam Laporta, now you're talking about elevating like a guy like Jameson Williams to potential like wide receiver one. And if you cannot find a way to run the ball, consistently and effectively, Jahmyr Gibbs, 20 for 68 in this game, not going to get the job done, didn't get the job done. The Lions are in harm's way, man.
They are. Yeah, they put themselves in a very tight spot with this loss, and obviously it being at home, it doesn't help. They've lost both to the Green Bay Packers this year. Obviously, early on in the season, I believe it was actually week 1, they got demolished in Green Bay. The defense routed them there. Then in this one, man, to your point, Jordan Love, 4 touchdowns, over 230 passing yards. He had a great day. Got all of his receivers involved. I think there was like 3 different receivers that got receiving touchdowns in this one.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you just talked about the run game or lack thereof for Detroit. Well, Josh Jacobs was 17 for 83. He was 4.9 yards per carry. So very steady in that department. We already know what Green Bay's defense will do on a game-to-game basis. They're sturdy. They're not going to let you get to the outside, which they were able to contain Jahmyr Gibbs. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say it was disappointing of the Lions, because it's not like it was like this huge underdog in the Green Bay Packers, but it was a big spot that the Lions had to have. And now you go into this game against Dallas, and it's like, it's a big spot, and Detroit's lost this many games in a row, and it's time for them to bounce back tonight. It was time for them to bounce back last week. You know what I mean? On Thanksgiving in their house. So I don't know what happens next for Detroit. Like you said, they're the first seed out of the last wild card spot right now, I believe.
Dallas is slightly behind them, and obviously that
if they win tonight.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, this is a potential elimination spot for one of these two teams. Let me ask you this. We're so used, and obviously, to the 1 seed last year in that tough-ass NFC North division last year, and going to the NFC Championship the year before that and losing to San Fran in the way they did. We're used to the Lions being relevant, especially as a regular season team. Obviously, Ben Johnson moves on, Aaron Glenn moves on, some pieces go around. Are the Lions just not that good of a football team? They're a good football team. I don't want to say that, but let's go down the resume from this year, because you already hinted at the fact that they've lost both matchups to the Green Bay Packers. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. They have wins over the likes of the Giants, Marcus Mariota and the Commanders, the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens, and they beat the Bears and the Bucks. Are they just a fine to good football team? Are they not the Lions of the last 2 to 3 seasons anymore? Is that kind of what we're figuring out as we get down to this Thursday night matchup?
I'm trying to be fair, with the injuries, obviously, but the Amon-Ra injury just took place.
It's new, yeah.
Sam Laporta was just the last few weeks. I think the big thing, man, is you just have to throw some value into Ben Johnson leaving, and obviously what he's doing in Chicago. And when you lose a play caller, a play designer like that, it's going to make a huge difference in your offense. You can see what the Eagles look like without Kellen Moore, and I think Ben Johnson is obviously levels above Kellen Moore. So it shouldn't be surprising, I guess, that we see them take a little bit of a downward spiral. Their defense has never been overly impressive to me. They have some star players in some big spots, like Brian Branch at safety. You have Hutchinson at the edge, who's just prolific, arguably one of the best in the league. But they've got some decent linebackers mixed in there, but it never have been a defensively oriented team, right? And now you look at the offense, and it's just looking really depleted right now. They're not able to get the run game going, which Dan Campbell talked about that 2 weeks ago, getting David Montgomery involved and getting the run game, the duos going again, and it's just not working for him. So, I think the question that begs is, how much longer do they have with Jared Goff and
fair
going into the playoff, being a contender in the NFC. And, I'm not gonna throw them out of that conversation because of a, injury riddled season or whatever. Maybe they're having a down year, whatever the case may be, because there's still a lot of talent on that roster. But when does Jared Goff just kind of, go over that cliff? For us, he's never been that great anyways. What happens when he takes a step down? What does that look like? And so maybe we're seeing that right now. I don't know.
Two things. I know I just surfaced the question of our line is just not that good, right? But let's be honest. Let's say they do make the playoffs. They squeak in as the 7th seed.
Yeah.
They get healthy. That offensive line on the left side's healthy. Amon-Ra's back. Laporta's back. I don't know what his status is moving forward or not. I know he's on the IR. I don't know if he can return before the playoffs or whatever the case may be. But they go from a team that I am questioning to a team you don't want to see in that spot. See, the Lions don't fear. I don't have fear in the Detroit Lions as a top 2 seed in the NFC. I think they're a team that you don't fear going into that dome. You saw what a rookie quarterback did to them last year. However, with that offense, I'm not certain you want to be the 2 seed in the NFC with them coming to town in the first round. That's not a problem you really want to have. So it'll be weird to see if they get in, because they will have gone from a favorite in the NFC to a overrated to a, oh shit, that's kind of scary. So, the Lions, if you are a team top 1 or 2 or 3 in the NFC, you probably don't want to see knocking on your door in the wild card round.
This might be a question too early in the show, but if it came down to Dallas or Detroit, who would you rather see in the 7th spot?
Shit. Who would
Dallas is obviously playing much better than Detroit right now. From an offensive standpoint, right?
Man, that is so tough because both teams, I'm as I can always make fun of Dallas for slipping up in the postseason in my lifetime. Detroit did it last year, right? More recently.
Yeah.
But I'll still say I'd rather play Dallas than Detroit. There's just something about them. I know they just beat us. Maybe this is sour grapes talking, but you're not going to get the memories of Jordan Love walking into Jerry World and doing what he did to them a few years. They don't get out of their own way. So as a hater, I guess I can say, I can see the Cowboys potentially almost running the table here at the end of the year, getting into the postseason. All this hype is surrounding them, and then all the dominoes collapse and season's over. But
it's interesting because I think it depends too. I don't know. The familiarity goes both ways in a sense when you think of it from Eagles perspective, fan, right? Yeah. And they're familiar with us. We're familiar with them. Man, Dak has had his success against us, but then you go to the Lions, it's we're not that familiar with the Lions. No. We haven't played them, once in the last 3 years?
Played them twice in the last 3 or 4 years.
Twice? Okay. So, 2 times in the last 3 years.
We opened up in Detroit the first year that AJ became an Eagle. The Super Bowl year, we opened up down there.
You are right. You are right.
And then, obviously a couple weeks ago. But I was laughing at one point when you were talking about the Lions not being able to get the run game going, because as I'm sitting here kind of clowning them for it, it's eerily similar to our issues. And the reason I bring that up is the injuries to Detroit's offensive line. And just to show how big that is, man, go back a year ago, go back 2 years ago. Who were the 2 best offensive lines in football? Eagles, Lions. Yeah. Every year, argument for the last 2 to 3 seasons, every year. Both are beat up and both are having issues with the line of scrimmage. Jared Goff was under pressure almost over 50% of his dropbacks a week ago against Green Bay on Thanksgiving. So it'll be interesting to see how they if they can figure it out tonight or not, which we'll get to. But the Packers, man, I do just want to give credit. Jordan Love played phenomenally. Josh Jacobs was fine. Those receivers stepped up. And that defense, obviously led by Micah, was pretty good again. It's just I can't give too much runway to the Packers because this is the ceiling. This is top 5 team in the league, whatever you want to call them at times, when Jordan Love has a 125 quarterback rating and 4 touchdowns and no turnovers.
Yeah.
And then you get the bad Jordan Love. So I can't give them too much runway when it comes to them, but I will give them credit for the big win. Yeah,
no, I think that's well said. Give them credit for the win. I think they still have some work to do, man. Some building to do, as does everybody. It's not to throw them under the bus or say that what they're doing isn't respected. It's, like you said, Jordan Love's got to build some consistency as we approach the postseason. We know their defense is great. We know that Josh Jacobs can be great. Jordan Love's got to be that consistent factor that continues to, lead them, like you said. So I feel you there.
Chiefs Cowboys, man. I'm surprised they're not in here. I can't remember if this was Turf Talk, if this was Faithful. I think it was Turf Talk last week when we were talking about the rest of the NFL. And we had some Cowboys fans in here. I'm surprised not to see them gloating because obviously for that week we were wrong. I did not think that after beating us, they would on a short week take care of business against the Chiefs with essentially the Chiefs season on the line. And they did exactly that. And that offense again was prolific. And, that's not the question I have for the Dallas Cowboys. The thing that's going to get in the Dallas Cowboys way is that defense at some point in time. The Chiefs still did put up 28 points. It was just they got another shootout and the Cowboys won another game. But Pickens and Lamb, phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
Mahomes was actually excellent in this game. Yeah. What happened here? Why do you I'm at a loss of words for this game because I'm looking back, and again, it feels like a long time ago. It was a week ago at this point, and neither team ran the ball exceptionally well. 137 yards to 119 yards, no big disparity. Dak throws a pick, Mahomes doesn't. What happened?
I'm checking a stat really quick. I just want to see. I didn't actually look for this one, but yeah, okay. 10 penalties on the Chiefs for 119 yards. That's the difference in the game. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not going to sit here and harp on it. I'm not going to talk about it for long, man. But 200 plus penalty yards in the last 2 Cowboys victories, along with 24 to 26 penalties called on the other teams. The other teams being the Eagles and the Chiefs. Which, obviously these two teams being from the Super Bowl last year, I don't think these teams are, generally heavily penalized, but the pass interference calls, man, the pass interference calls, I think there was 3 called on McDuffie and then 5 total called on the Chiefs secondary as a whole. You're playing in Jerry world. I mean, I guess you just have to expect that is going to happen sometimes. But no, to your point, you read those stats, I'm looking you get 4 tutty Mahomes. I think Kelsey had a tutty in this one. Yeah. Rashee Rice had 2 tutties in this one. You got some great performances out of the Chiefs. On the other side, the Cowboys as well. It's not that they didn't have guys perform in between, but it's just when some of those calls go one way consistently.
It is.
I don't know what you can do, man. They double them up
and like you mentioned, because that's where it gets kind of in the way of the game. And I can't remember if any were super egregious and bad, or if I was like, it's pretty close. I'm sure there was
there's CeeDee Lamb specific one that was really, really just no way.
Because the only reason I say that is because, they can come out and say, oh, well, we called the game close, right? 10 penalties on Kansas City, 7 on Dallas. The problem is the type of penalties you called. Right. Dallas had 7 penalties for 50 total yards. The Chiefs had 10 to, like you said, for 119. I mean, that is a humongous difference in when you're talking about spot fouls down the field on PI calls. To your point, for sure. That sounds like nitpicking. It sounds like whining. But when you do go back and think about this game, what went wrong? Well, the Cowboys turned the ball over. The Chiefs didn't. The Chiefs went 3 for 3 in the red zone. The Cowboys went 2 for 4. Time of possession was a minute off. It was dead even. Both quarterbacks were spectacular. Neither team ran the ball well. So what was a difference maker yardage gain that way.
I hate to be
There's
that
no
way,
other
man.
bit.
It makes me feel weird.
There truly is no other separation.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to hate on the Cowboys. Shout out to the Cowboys for going out, taking advantage of the situation, and beating this, 3-time Super Bowl champion Chiefs team, right? Led by the MVP, perennial MVP, Patrick Mahomes. It's a big W at home. Absolutely. I'm not trying to take that away. It's just, it's funny how that looks. Like, at the end of the season, we won't look back at this game and say, oh, well, you remember those 10 penalties for 100. Like, we're not going to say that. But right now, it's hard to not look at it.
The game, right? When you look at the game, like we just talked about, what separation was there between numbers, statistics, efficiency, anything?
Right.
Not much besides that. So like that
turnovers, but it does
kind of, get in the way a little bit when you are looking at it. But hey, Dallas 4-1-1 at home too, man. But the problem with that number is where aren't you going to be if you do make the playoffs?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But hey, look, they're trying to win that division.
Great win. Let me say this for all the Cowboys people out there, for the two guys that tuned in last week. Your quarterback is truly playing at an MVP type level. You have two ridiculous wide receivers. One probably top 3, top 4, top 5 in the game. The other one, with all the talent in the world, couldn't get out of his own way in previous years. Seems to be found a home here. Your offense, top 3, 4 in the league, man. Like the best at a lot of times.
Statistically, number 1.
Yeah, you're just not going to tell, because again, this defense got thrashed in this game. You gloss over it because of the 3 quarters against us. And of course we had to let them off the hook there. But that defense is not fixed by any stretch of the imagination. So that's what's going to stay in their way. It's a great win. Tonight is going to be a fun ass game to watch. I'm excited to watch it. I'm not hate watching. I'm going to root, I'm probably just going to root for points and take the over here. So both offenses do what you want to do. But in terms of what do the Cowboys bring to the table, come January, I still will sit here and say probably not too much. And it's just funny, man. It's because the wheels are spinning, right, man? Like national media, they're eating this shit up. Like this is what they wait for. They want this team to be in that conversation.
It's good for the league. It is.
Yeah,
it's good for the league.
Let me ask you this, man.
Cowboys fans have hope.
Chiefs, can we stick a fork in them yet? Is it time?
Let me just take a quick.
Yeah, let me look at this AFC playoff picture. They're 10th in the AFC right now, with Pittsburgh slightly ahead. They're tied with Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh slotted 9th, and Texans are at 8 at 7-5. The problem is the Bills are the 7th seed at 8-4, and I would assume they're going to win more games. The Colts are 8-4.
Play the Chiefs this week.
Yeah, well, okay. So so Chiefs lose this week. Now we can officially
this is it. I feel like we've been saying it every week and then they just lose. But this is it for the Kansas City Chiefs. If they lose this, obviously to your point, it'll create some separation between them and Houston, in Houston's favor. And then Buffalo's already obviously ahead as well. So it would take a monumental collapse from, Colts, Jacksonville, which, it's not impossible. It's not impossible for the Chargers to fall out of that situation. But I think overall, I'm leaning towards sticking a fork. But
yeah, man. Last game, my bad. Last game here on the Thanksgiving slate. What the hell is going on in Baltimore, man? This is another team that makes no one sense. Step forward and 18 steps backwards this year. They're playing awful. Their defense stinks with Lamar early on in the season. They're at 1 point 2-5 or 1-4, whatever the hell they were. The division's over to some people, and then all of a sudden they win a game, and people are like, "Oh, this team's going to run the table when Lamar comes back. This team's going to win the division when Lamar comes back," and they still very may. But you're sitting here with a 6-6 record. And now, don't get me wrong, you did just win 5 straight games.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Here's the problem with that, Scotty. Let me tell you the likes of who they beat. Right, Bears, good win. Bears number 1 seed in the NFC. Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, and then just lost to Cincinnati. They're not a good football team. They already have lost to the Rams, the Texans, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Bills this year. beat the Browns. They are, with or without Lamar Jackson, they are not a good football team this year. Point blank, period. I'm tired of hearing about Lamar and the Ravens making a run. I don't care if they win their division. They are most likely a one and done. They have not they've beaten one good football team this year. One, Chicago Bears. And let me just check something real quick. That wasn't even with Lamar Jackson. So Tyler Huntley. They're just not good, man. I'm tired of hearing about them.
No, I agree with you, man. I think this was a game where you kind of get to reset. You get to reset, understand what the Ravens really are as a team this year. All it took was Joe Burrow coming back, and he was able to control the tempo of the game, control the possession in the game for Cincinnati's favor, and Lamar wasn't able to lead his team in this one, man. Simply
now,
put,
Isaiah Likely fumbling out the back.
I will say, like, I do think that, there's a little bit more heat to be had if the Ravens don't win their division this year on Lamar Jackson and that offense.
Yeah,
they don't just get a pass for not winning this shitty ass division.
Can I ask you a question, man?
Yeah,
because we sit here and we focus on Faithful all week long, and we rip our play caller to shreds. But then I take a peek around the rest of the league, and I just notice similarities. Like, I don't know why I just said similarities, but you get my point.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry doesn't get the football. 10 carries. 10. I can go down a list of Ravens games this year where he's had 10 carries, 11 carries, 12 carries, or less. Saquon Barkley can't get the football this year. 10 carries, 13 carries, 12 carries, 14 carries. What are you guys doing, man? It's not fucking rocket science. Last year, top 2 seed in the AFC. How'd you get there? Oh, I ran my workhorse. Last year, Super Bowl bound. How'd you get there? Oh, I ran my workhorse. 10 carries? That's ridiculous.
I was just, because I do feel you. I just wanted to look at the way the scoring played out, just to see if that had an impact on it at all. I guess I wonder how many of those 10 carries came in the first half, because obviously it kind of went off the rails in the third quarter.
Yeah, but exactly. To your point, in the first half, at halftime, it was 12-7.
Yeah.
You were winning after 15 minutes. So what are you doing?
No, I don't get it. I think the Ravens are just a team. Once again, they're not a good team. I think the red flags have been there all season. To your point, you could see the competition that they have beat during that little win streak that they had. They're just in the middle of a division that will just beat up on each other right now. They've been able to beat the Browns, which keeps them afloat in the division, right? But I think that's what this division will ultimately come down to. It's going to come down to the rest of those division games taking place and who can ultimately win them. Because, I see the comment here.
Yeah. Listen, I was just going to make a snarky comment back to Mrs. Scotty and say, that's an awful take.
Yeah.
But then that second glance, I'm saying, and look, I still don't love Buffalo to get there, right? I don't think that Buffalo has had this outstanding season. I mean, they're the 7th seed out in the AFC. They're sneaking in at this point. But they're still 8-4. It has nothing really to do with that. But my point is, the Chiefs cooked, Ravens cooked. So, the Bengals have been to a Super Bowl and AFC Championship recently. Not a threat in the postseason, even if they do somehow get there. Steelers, not a threat. Texans are the Texans, even though they did just beat the Bills. I guess my point, man, is come January, divisional round, AFC Championship, whatever the case may be, they get there against Bo Nix, or they get a rematch against the New England Patriots. They might have a chance to do it. At first, I was going to say, Mrs. Scotty, you're off your rocker right now. The Bills haven't shown all that much this year. With that said, the AFC is as open as it's been since Mahomes entered the league, and probably will be moving forward as well. Like, this is a year. If you are Josh, you have to find a way to get this shit there, man.
Yeah, man, it's so interesting looking at this because, yeah, to your point, Josh Allen, he would easily be the best quarterback left in the AFC. Obviously, if Mahomes isn't there, you would play Denver right now in Denver. It would be a tough ass game. It's not a game the Bills can't win. It's not. I would lean Denver just with the proof in the pudding with them defensively, but Josh Allen, he could do a Superman game maybe. New England's interesting, man. I got to see them. They still got another game on the schedule. If New England beats up on them again, bro, it's New England's schedule that holds you back. But what I'm looking at Drake May, and I'm like, Josh Allen isn't going out there and just like performing Drake May under the table, like putting him down. Like, that's not happening.
No, I think
Drake May is a guy.
Bo Nix. I think he can do that against Bo Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix, he's a guy that can have a like meltdown, I feel like. Drake May,
now there's no proof
like
to the Drake May clause, right? Like, that we haven't seen that yet. He hasn't been to the postseason yet.
Yeah.
The first piece of evidence we get of it.
The pressure.
But what my eyes tell me is that kid's not going to shit his pants.
Did you see the over the shoulder throw to Booty in the end zone on Monday Night Football? I mean, that's just that's next level passing. Like that is elite passing. And I know it's such a short pass, but just the way.
Let me ask you this, man. Since we're on the conversation, A, is he your MVP right now? And B, if you were an owner, if you were a general manager, Howie Roseman, and you were starting a football team today from scratch, the league did a do-over. Are you building your football team around Drake May above anyone else? Because obviously age plays a factor, right? Like, Patrick Mahomes to me is still the best quarterback in football. But if I'm building my franchise today for the next 10 plus years, are you building around Drake May more so than anybody else in the league right now? Over Josh?
Josh is 29, so when you say 10 years, it's like, no, he can't be the answer. Yeah, I think he has to be. I think there's only a few guys that come to mind that could be in the combo. I think like Jaden Daniels with his resume from last year. He's injured this year. We'll see what becomes of him. Like, he's another guy that has like that talent. But
this kid's special, brother.
I don't know.
Just pure eye test. Now, don't get me wrong. The big moment will have to come. They're going to make the playoffs. They're 11-2. They're going to win their division, I would assume.
Yeah.
So that he's going to have his opportunity to be in that spotlight this postseason. So he goes out there and they lay an egg and they get a first round exit as a 1 or 2 seed in the AFC. Then we can peel the wheel back a little bit, right? But what my eyes tell me is that this kid's fucking special. Throw after throw after throw after throw. And he's got mobility to him too, but he's not a runner, right? Like, they were talking about this on the Monday night pregame show last week. Like, he keeps 2 hands on the ball basically until he knows until he's at the line of scrimmage, out of the pocket. So, like, when he escapes, that ball's not down here swinging by his hip in one hand as he's looking downfield.
He's not careless with it.
He's here, but he has some speed to him to where he has escapability, and then he makes that decision last minute. He's smart with the football. He can throw it on a rope. He can put it anywhere he wants. And again, it's not like he's got other world talent around him position-wise. Like, you got an older Stephon Diggs. Case Booty is he leading them in receiving this year?
No, I think Diggs is leading the way at this point.
Mac Hollins, Hunter Henry, like, there's just not star power names out in New England right now that this kid's working with. He's special, bro, and he would be my MVP right now.
Yeah, they're an interesting team, man. You have to take it all with a grain of salt. He's playing some special football. Their defense, the identity, right? Mike Vrabel, what they do, they play some smash mouth football. There's a couple New York Giants that were knocked out cold on the field on Monday night, bro. They were out there hitting, and I see the other comment regarding the Bills, man. I went back to look at that matchup and kind of see how it played out. It was once again great game by Drake May, 22 for 30, 270 plus passing yards, no turnovers. On the other end, Josh Allen, interception and fumble lost. That's the difference in the game ultimately. The Patriots weren't able to run the football. The Bills weren't really running the football. Josh Allen had most of the rushing yards there. And now you look at the Patriots, they're on a bye week this week. They come back from the bye, they play the Bills. And I believe that will be in – is that in Buffalo?
Yeah. No. Yeah? Fuck, why can't I remember where that game was played?
I want to say it's in Buffalo. No.
It's in New England.
It's in New England. Yeah, they beat Buffalo in Buffalo. Is that – am I reading that correct? Yeah, they beat Buffalo in Buffalo. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at home.
And it's in Foxborough after their bye week.
James Cook fumble in this game too?
Did he? He did against the Steelers. That's what's fresh in my mind right now.
Yeah, the Bills lost 2 fumbles. They had 3 total turnovers. They had 9+ minutes more time of possession than the Patriots did.
So you can take that. That can go both ways, right? That could be a positive or a negative in certain lights. But it depends how this game goes. This will tell a lot, right? If the Bills go out here and lose this game, even though it's in Foxborough, yeah, I don't know that I'm going to have a ton of confidence. Because that's where my mind went when you're talking about the Bills going through the playoffs. It's like, I guess it's like, are we putting Drake May on the same level as Josh Allen? Like, am I moving too fast right now? I guess is the big question.
It's funny, right? Because I was going to say, sure.
Teams are similar, right?
I was going to say, sure, why not? I think he's proving that this year. But then I just go back and remember, the Jaden Daniels season and them getting in the postseason, and specifically, obviously, the NFC Championship game against us, and the way that people spoke about him in a rookie year. Now, obviously, this isn't Drake's rookie year, but
right.
So I think it's okay to analyze the amazing year that he's putting together right now and respect for that.
Yeah.
While not going over the top, right? When it gets to it, now don't get me wrong, Josh hasn't gotten over the hump, but Josh has been excellent in playoff moments. Josh should have beaten the Chiefs 2 times already. So when people pose the question, who would you rather have today? And it's the AFC Championship game. There is no evidence to say Drake May. If both teams are there, that means both quarterbacks are playing well. One team's the seasoned veteran that's been there before. The other guy has not done a thing in this league. So to come out last year when people were like, Jaden, yeah, how'd the Commanders do in that game? That's where you can't get too ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
When you get to that point of the season. But 2 more games really, man, before we get into power rankings and tonight as I drop my pen on my foot. Because as great as the Thanksgiving Day slate, was, and obviously all the playoff implications it did hold, the Sunday slate, the Monday night slate, it sucked for the most part. You had the Bills-Steelers game. Rodgers goes down very early in that game. It was 7-3 Steelers at halftime, unable to come back. That game was just never a game again at 26-7 Bills, so I don't got much to say there. Seahawks rout the Vikings with you playing at quarterback, 26-0. But 2 games. Let me ask you this, man. Colts. If I had our soundboard next to me right now and I had an alarm go, should I sound it? Is it now? Don't get me wrong. They're still 8-4. They're 6-1 at home. This was their first home loss. Let me grab my pen, but it's pissing me off. Got it. Is it time to sound the alarm if you're Indy?
Not yet. Not yet. But we are getting super, super close. Super close.
2 straight, 3 out of 4.
They play the Jags this week. So this is the sound of the alarm game.
Brother, they play. Let me tell you this. Wow.
Tough schedule?
I'm not so sure the Indianapolis Colts make the playoffs. Let me say that. Let me go out on a fucking limb and say that. at Jacksonville, at Seattle, San Francisco on Monday Night Football, Jacksonville at Houston to end the year.
They have to beat their divisional opponents. That's what it comes down to. You got to beat the Jags. You got to beat the Texans. Right? They're 8-4 right now. Worst case scenario, let's say they lose against Seahawks and Niners, right? Seahawks on the road, that's going to be a really tough game. The Niners, they're not unbeatable. They're not unbeatable, but I don't know. I'd probably lean. I don't know. I would have to see how I feel when we get there. Then you got Jags and Texans to close out the season. So obviously you got to win. What would you say? Both of the Jags? Like, do you have to win 3 out of your last 5, would you say, to make the playoffs? Like 11 wins? Is it going to take that much?
Yeah, I think so.
Because what?
I mean, the Bills right now are the 7th seed behind the Colts, and they have the same record at 8-4.
True.
So, like, you're looking at And
if you're losing those games, the Jags are winning those games. Yeah. The Texans they're winning that game. Like so.
The Texans are another team that are right there as well, that are on the outside looking in. And you play them again after just losing to them. So it's going to be important. Daniel Jones in the last 2 games, both losses. Kansas City overtime game, obviously very close. Both games are close games. All 3 of their losses in the last 4 are close games. But I just mean from that dominant, the Colts are the best team in the NFL, and Daniel Jones is an MVP. Their one win is in overtime in Berlin against the Falcons. Yep. They've lost to the Steelers, who apparently aren't that good, the Chiefs, who apparently aren't that good, and now the Texans. And then the last 2, Daniel Jones, 181 passing yards, 61% completion percentage, 201 passing yards, a 51.9 completion percentage. Now, don't get it twisted. The Texans are a very, very, very good defense. I saw what they did to Josh Allen a few weeks ago. They've done it to a lot of good quarterbacks this year. That's not to hate on Daniel Jones. However, I think it's time for concern if you're Indy. And don't be surprised if you're a Colts fan if that guy starts to poop his pants. Because this is it. I mean, this run, like you mentioned, you probably have to go 3-2 to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they have it in them.
This weekend will tell me a lot, about the Colts. If they can go into Jacksonville, get a much-needed win, you can't lose, 3 in a row at this point and look at where you are in the division.
3 in a row, backs there against 4 the wall. 5, and now we're still spiraling, right?
And the Jags aren't that good, to be fair. Like, they're 8-4. I get it. They put on a good win streak. They played some questionable teams, in my opinion. Trevor Lawrence is not a good quarterback, in my opinion. So they should go to Jacksonville and win a game, but we'll see what Daniel Jones is on, to your point, my man.
Last game I want to get into, man, because this other team had the opportunity to probably come in slotted at number 1 in our power rankings this week. And before this past week, they were playing like the best team in football. And they come away with a road loss. Great game, 31-28. And this other team, I do want to give them credit because they seem to be a lot better than, we were thinking coming into the year. But the Rams lose to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Carolina, let's start there, man. 7-6. Now, there's no one close to Carolina after that. Like, Atlanta's 4-8. They're the next team. So Carolina has to slide up over 2 teams. But those 2 teams play tonight.
Yeah.
Dallas and Detroit. Detroit 7-5. Dallas has the tie, so they're ahead of Carolina at 6-5-1. Is it possible the Carolina Panthers can make the playoffs? And I'm looking at wild card here. Let's not forget the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 7-5.
Yeah. Absolutely. The Panthers. It's funny because I wanted to wait to ask you the same exact question, but you look at the Lions, you look at the Cowboys, the Panthers beat the Cowboys.
Yep.
The Panthers do have wins over the Packers, the Cowboys, and now the Rams. So the Panthers do have a decent resume. I mean, what wins do the Patriots have that are comparable to the Rams or, so on and so forth? It's not to say the Panthers are as good as the Patriots. I don't mean it that way, but they've been playing some consistently good football. Their defense shows up. And more to be said about Bryce Young, man. He's been playing some decent football as well. He's shown some real highlights this season, I feel like. And I'm excited to see the way they can finish this season, man, because to your point, They got the Saints. Well, they got a bye week this week. They come out of the bye week. They play the Saints. Then they play those Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Carolina. Then they play the Seahawks in Carolina. Then they play Tampa Bay on the road. They kind of control their own destiny in a sense. So, yeah, they could fuck around and win their division, let alone steal the 7th seed from the Cowboys or even the Lions tonight. So it's interesting,
and
man.
To be honest,
they're very opportunistic. They're very opportunistic.
And that's be the clear route, right? Rather than having to try to jump like 3 teams, because then like the Lions and the Cowboys are ahead of them, but the Niners still sit in the 7th seed. And the Niners have 9 wins, so like you have work to do to get into the wild card. Your division at the 4 seed is where your eyes should be, and like you mentioned, 2 against the Bucs, and you wrap up the season in Tampa Bay. You do essentially control your own destiny. The Saints, you cannot lose to the Saints this week.
That cannot happen. It's possible. It is possible that 2-10 Saints. It's possible they could lose to them, but they better not. To your point, looking at the Bucs schedule, they have the Saints this week. They have the Falcons the following week. Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. So those games are going to decide the division for the most part. The Panthers have to win those games, I'm going to guess. Because the Bucs are going to win. They should win the other 3. So,
did I see correctly? Mike Evans is starting to get back into that practice window.
Is he? No, I didn't see any reports.
I could be totally making that up.
It's been quite a while.
Mike Evans return. I just want to make sure before I say that. Mike Evans, Jalen McMillan return to practice one day ago.
And Jalen McMillan. That's a pretty big ad with what they've been playing with, man. Baker's been throwing the ball to Tez Johnson, racking up tutties. Like anything is going to help. So just got Godwin back a little bit a few weeks ago. We'll see where they can go. Bucky Irvin. The Bucs, I don't know. They were looking dangerous at first. They've kind of derailed a little bit. We'll see how they can finish the season, man. But I do have I have a question for you before we finish out with power rankings. Based off, my mind has been stuck, man, at that Bills conversation in the AFC. And how would you rank? Like, who would be your top 3? Not strongest team right now, but just in the playoff picture right now in the AFC. Who would be like your 3 favorites to win the AFC? And I'm going to assume the Bills are in those 3.
Bills, Patriots. I think along with the Drake May point, I do think they might be like the most complete team in the AFC, like special teams, defense, what Drake May's doing offensively. Yeah. I think they're very well rounded from that standpoint. But that kick returner is fucking. I saw someone earlier saying, "Let's get him on offense here and there. Like get the ball in his hands." So I think it's Bills, Patriots out of the AFC East are my top 2. And then I don't know, man. It is an absolute rock fight because Denver, like Denver with that defense, especially a fully healthy defense. J.K. Dobbins, I don't know what his timeline looks like if he's returning. So they have Harvey and Dobbins, Yeah, I guess I have to say Denver. I can't discredit them that much because I don't trust Bo Nix. Well, looking across the board, who the hell else
Daniel
do
Jones.
I trust?
Right.
Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. Like,
are we sleeping on that? Are we sleeping on this moment? And I know he just fractured his non-throwing wrist or whatever it was, his hand.
Herbert.
He's not like he should be in the same boat as Josh Allen in the sense of
talent.
Mahomes is not there. Like there's nobody there, right?
Like, are we letting him off the hook? You mean
right? Because
this again, man.
We haven't even mentioned it
a couple minutes ago when it came to Lamar. Like, if they don't win their division or they don't do anything in the playoffs this year, like this is it, after this year, like there should be a lot of scrutiny. I mean, that same conversation definitely needs to be had for Herbert because year in and year out, we get the great regular season and we get the shit your pants playoff moments. And that was with the likes of like the Ravens being a 13-win team, Mahomes going to Super Bowl. You get this year without the Chiefs and the Ravens really being a non-factor,
Knicks leapfrogged them.
You might finish ahead of the Bills, at this point in the standings. Like, yeah, you have to show up in the postseason.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
It's funny because we do play them on Monday night, man, and we'll see how they do it. I know Rodgers just did something similar, but like, do you see the video of Herbert taking snaps with the cast on his non-throwing hand?
No, I didn't.
It's very weird looking, man, and like clunky, like he can't grip the ball with his left hand. It looks like. Please play him. Like I don't like. Look, I don't.
That's what I'm thinking
know.
As you're talking. I was wondering what you were gonna say.
Like, I don't even know who their backup is. So maybe like Justin Herbert on one leg and one arm and half blind.
I think it's Trey Lance.
Dude. But like, I would honestly like that has to limit your offense in a way. It has to limit how he can take snaps. It has to limit, the pet. If they
is he gonna run
on him protecting the ball, everything like
right.
So. It would just be really stupid. But at the same point, you are fighting for a playoff spot right now. Eagles are coming to town. You're trying to win this game. So I guess I get it, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
The last thing I'll say about the AFC, man, what is weird is as I'm looking through this, I beg the question, like, who can't the Texans beat in the AFC with that defense? Like, I don't know. It's just so weird. It's like you would pick the same teams, right? The Josh Allen-led Bills, the Drake May-led Pats, but then you get to the Bo Nix-led Broncos, and mind you, the Broncos may have played them this year. I'm not saying the Broncos can't beat the Texans. When you get those two defenses going head-to-head, what the fuck does that even look like? Like you said, it's a rock fight, and at that point, it's anybody's ball game, man. So that's how I feel about the AFC for the most part, man. You give some of the quarterbacks the benefit of doubt, but it'll be interesting,
weird, man. The AFC is so jammed with a bunch of teams, and then the NFC is so like, I don't want to say the word top heavy because I think all 7 seeds will be pretty good, but like I mentioned, like the Falcons are the next team after Carolina, and they're 4-8. Like the bottom half, the NFC already has 3 teams eliminated, and one team that's not statistically yet is Washington at 3-9. So they're about to be. Minnesota has you and me playing quarterback. Therefore, so I mean, we're about to be in week 14, and there's going to be like 5 teams eliminated from the playoffs in the NFC. So the bottom of it sucks. It's more top heavy. Whereas like the AFC is more so spread around, I guess you could say. But, yeah, man, let's take a look at these top 10 power rankings that we came up with for this week, and then we'll take a quick glance at tonight's matchup between the Cowboys and the Lions and get out of here. Coming in at number 1 this week, you and I had not a dispute, but kind of a question. What team would you rather have right now? You brought the resume, and I completely agree with you. When you get into power rankings, that's something that takes kind of precedent here. So the Broncos coming in at number 1 with the Patriots coming in at number 2. Right now, if you had to ask me today, who do I think would win in a head-to-head matchup, I would take Drake May and the Patriots. But the resume, the type of wins you're talking about when it comes to Denver has been number 1 for a couple weeks now for us. They haven't lost. So why am I going to knock you down a peg for that? And the Patriots, like you mentioned, like what? Like, you beat the Jets and the Giants. Like, what do you want me to really do with that? So Patriots at number 2 with all due respect. Rams coming in at number 3. I think even though they're not the 1 seed right now in the NFC, I do think they are playing the best football, even though coming off of a loss in the NFC. Stafford's unbelievable still. Bears at number 4. Fraudulent, I'll just say that. But
okay. I was gonna ask, like, how are you feeling, man? They're number 1 in the NFC. We haven't talked a lot about them.
And let me tell you this, they're not winning their division. I'm just going to come out. So they're going to go from the 1 seed this week following Thanksgiving to not winning their division and being a wild card team potentially.
Packers.
Watch the Bears not even make the playoffs. That would be the funniest shit of the season, to go from the 1 seed beating the Eagles after Thanksgiving and then not making the postseason. But I haven't looked at their schedule, but I think it's a real possibility. San Fran's 9-4 at the 7 seed. So they're half a game behind, and if you don't win your division, you fall down in that grouping. 5 Seattle, 6 the Eagles, 7 San Francisco, 8 Green Bay, 9 Jags, 10 Colts. Let us know what you think about those rankings. Very difficult to put together at this point in time. But yeah, that's what we came up with.
Yeah, no, to your point, I think 1 through 3 locked in. Bears, you give them the respect that's due. Put them there while they can be there, right? They'll play the Packers this week. I think they'll lose to the Packers, to your point. We'll see where they go from there. But no, got to give them the respect. Seattle, they're an interesting team, right? They continue to win games. They continue to win games in dominating fashion. Sam Darnold didn't even play that well against the Vikings. They skunk them, right? 26-0, I think it was. Their defense, opportunistic. They get turnovers. They're a dangerous team. So yeah, Seattle gets the respect. And then you get to, the 6 through 7 through 8. I mean, Philly, the way they're playing right now, man, it's just feels bad. I believe in them over some of these teams. Don't get me wrong. But just trying to take my bias and my loyalty out of it and understand and try to look at where the Eagles really are right now. San Fran, we'll see how they kind of shape out towards the end of the season with Brock Purdy being back. They seem to have like all their pieces back. Green Bay, they're a team that I could see ultimately winning out in a sense. Take care of business in their division, like you said. Beat the Bears this week. I want to say they play the Bears twice. Win out is going to be hard. They do play the Broncos after the Bears, man, which not trying to get too far ahead, but that is the Broncos are due for a loss. They got to lose at some point, but the Packers are in there. Jacksonville, Indy, so on and so forth. The Bills are 8-4 right now. I think they are as well. You could argue the Bills into the top 10. Like we discussed, we would probably pick the Bills over the Jags and the Colts if the playoffs started today, but I don't know. The Jags have just played better of late. Colts are falling, but they haven't fallen that far just yet. Could change this week, though. But, yeah, man, it is hard, especially after you get out of the top 3, who I think have been pretty consistent, winning games in dominating fashion for the most part. But
yeah, Terry, I'll do you a solid. I'll put the Niners over the Eagles the day that Kyle Shanahan goes back to Mac Jones instead of Brock Purdy. That's what I'll do, because you're better with Mac Jones than you are with Brock Purdy. All love there. All love.
No, it's all love.
No.
We did that just for you, Terry,
yes.
Just so you know.
Sure did. Cowboys Lions tonight, man. Lions 3.5-point favorites. Total sitting around 55.5. Yes, a lot of points in an NFL game. Two defenses that still aren't good, that are beat up in a dome. Both defenses bad in the red zone. Both offenses prolific. Obviously, Cowboys more so than the Lions, especially with the Lions' injuries. Going to be an interesting one tonight. Let me start here. We don't have to spend long on this game. We get out of here. But in a weird way, is the wrong team favored here, man? Or are you surprised, at least at minimum, it's not closer to a pick 'em? A 3.5-point spread for a team that's not playing as good a football as the other team right now and has glaring injury concerns tonight.
It's
no
tough,
Amon-Ra St. Brown. No Sam Laporta.
It's tough because I came into the show, like I was throwing my notes today thinking about this game, and initially my thought was, yes, the Cowboys are winning this game. No Amon-Ra, like no chance. It's an interesting spread by the books. I have seen the numbers, like a lot of people are on the Cowboys tonight. All the money is flowing in on the Cowboys tonight. So it almost seems like a trick.
Yeah.
I would not bet Lions. I would not bet Lions.
No, but I'm not betting Cowboys.
But I'm not betting Cowboys either. Because like you just said earlier in the show, it's just a matter of time before that slide comes, man. That downhill slope. And there is a world tonight. It is my only draw to skepticism of the over. What if the Detroit Lions run the fucking football tonight? What if they decide to use their duo in the backfield, control time of possession, make life easy for Goff, and just control the game against, for our money, a poor Dallas defense?
Yeah.
I still am with you. I still do lean the over, but I do think there is a world where they could just dominate in the run game. But the Cowboys are going to put up points. That's where I always come back to the over.
Correct.
And yeah, the Cowboys are going to find a way to put up points tonight. But
And
how
like
did the
run
Detroit
game,
Lions
man,
win?
like you mentioned, like
Run
even
the
if they
fucking
do
football.
run it, how many explosive plays could come on the ground from Gibbs? Like
That's a good point.
I'll tell you this, bro.
Good point.
I like both of them, to be honest.
Team totals?
No, like David Montgomery for 40+ rushing yards is plus 111. Jameer
That's
Gibbs for
crazy.
80+ is minus 116. So what's his line? Let's see. Rush
81,
yard
82?
79.5 for Jameer Gibbs.
79.5.
All right. See, this is where the books make me laugh. So why would I not? 79.5 is minus 113. 80+ is minus 116. Why would I not just take 79.5?
That's so weird.
But regardless, like
Yeah.
I like both of them, man. Like, is there a way
To do like either or?
combine-
But no, man.
Well, I'll tell you this.
You just know as soon as you lay Gibbs, it's going to be Montgomery and vice versa. But my heart and my gut leans towards Gibbs having a night. He's just due. He hasn't had one in a while.
Let me throw this to you. One of them is going over because combined rush. Oh no, I'm sorry. Whoopsie daisy. Wrong team. See, man, that's intriguing. David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs combined rushing yards 125 plus 104.
And that's just them having a night controlling the game.
To get like them together, 125. Like if can the Lions run for 125 yards, excluding Goff or like end arounds to Jameson, like
on a short week,
right? Can the two running backs rush for 125? Because then like you don't have to worry about if Montgomery's in the game or not, or Gibbs is in the game or not. They hand the ball off to one of those two guys.
Yeah,
and you're getting rushing yards.
Well, I guess it's not
I like that a lot.
It's interesting. Yeah.
All right. We'll
I do feel you. Yeah, that sounds nice.
Wait, did we just get a flip? Hold on.
Gibbs could go for 125 himself, you know. So
George just texted me. Hold on 1 second. Oh, dude. Amon-Ra St. Brown appears ready to play.
Interesting.
Jeremy Fowler, he's on the field warming up and throwing the football, like in like actual warm-ups.
That's a game changer for sure.
Yeah. And Joel Embiid is playing tonight. Sixer starters: Maxey, Edgecombe, Grimes, Dominic Barlow, and Joel Embiid. All right.
Even as a distraction, Amon-Ra, that's a big in. Because that was my worry for the Lions tonight. Jameson Williams obviously had a huge game against the Packers last week. I think he had a huge game the week before that as well. He would have a lot of attention on him if Amon-Ra is not out there, Laporta's not out there, so on and so forth. But we shall see, man. Should be a hell of a game. I do feel you on the over. I think it was at 54.5 the last time I looked. I don't know. I like those Russian numbers as well.
I know. I think that might be what I lay, man, to be honest with you. But like it'll be like the Eagles game where like they dump it off to Gibbs for big plays, and that's where they come from in the passing game. Like,
see, and they have his combined yards. If you just did Gibbs, for example, his combined yards are just going to be so juiced.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be like
his combined yards are probably going to be like over 120 or 130 alone. Like, for
so it's like.
All right, I'm sure we'll text about it over the next hour.
Yeah.
Watch the Sixers get out here, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. Terry, Mrs. Scotty, D-Rap for chiming in. If you are watching right now on Twitter, make sure to turn on over to the YouTube channel. It's the best and only spot to get your thoughts and comments pulled up here with us. Subscribe to the DSM Philly YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Scotty Talks NBA YouTube channel. And enjoy the rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.
Peace, everybody.